Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. This is from a guy. He is 40 years old, a very successful business owner, a loyal and devoted father, husband, and all that. And he emailed me because he is in a miserable marriage. Shocker. He and also is in a major predicament on how to handle his situation. You're going to see, guys, in this story that he shares, he dealt with the ultimate bait and switch. He was with his now wife for like 11 years before he finally put a ring on her finger. And during those 11 years, you're going to see she was obviously great, loving, supportive, hooking up left and right, all that. And then he put that ring on her finger, and boom, like that, she changed. And the exact opposite. And you're going to see in the story exactly how opposite. It is awful. And before they even got married, he had a couple kids with her and all that. And he's been miserable. This poor guy. But he took his energy and dedicated towards starting a business. And he's a very successful business owner. And now, all these years later, he's tired of all this shit. He wants out. He wants to end it with her, but he has the tough situation of what to do with the kids. He has a handicapped child, all that, and he's really kind of lost. So he's looking for me, as well as you guys, the community, for your suggestions and tips on what he should do. Because in my opinion, no guy should live like this any longer than he absolutely has to. So I'm going to go through his story here, guys, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to point out throughout the story, but especially at the end, where he went wrong, where he did a lot of things your typical guys would do because they think that's the way you're supposed to handle your wife, or as a husband or as a father. He definitely made mistakes, which in my opinion enabled her bad behavior, made things worse. But there's always a way, guys. We always have a choice we can make, and also we don't have to continue living in an awful situation. So he starts off, he says, hello SSM, my name is Kay. I'm aware you might get 1,000 emails like this, but if you are reading this, thank you kindly, sir. Yeah, I get a hell of a lot of emails, and I have to be very selective. And I wish I could do them all. I just simply can't. But keep sending them, guys. A lot of guys write in. It's honestly, they feel better just writing out their stories. But by the way, I'm devising I'm planning out a major project, which I'll be announcing in the summertime, which will allow me to definitely utilize and promote all these great stories you guys send in eventually. It's getting there. Big secret project, but you guys will find out about it this summer. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. I stumbled upon your YouTube channel, and I am overjoyed that you take time out of your busy schedule to help so many men. Not only with some excellent advice, but also by letting us know we are not alone. Since discovering it, I listen to almost every day while doing chores at work. Bro, you're welcome. I'm glad I can help you. A lot of guys don't do this, and so many of you guys are looking for answers. And it's also helpful, I found out, a lot of you guys knowing that you're not alone. Because guess what, guys? You aren't alone. There are guys all over the world dealing with a lot of the same issues that you are, wherever you are in this world. And so I think it makes guys feel a little better knowing there's others out there. And others are cheering you on if you're in the early stages of turning your life around. It says, I too am in dire need of some advice. Full story below, but the synopsis is I tried so hard to make my marriage work, but I'm failing hard. And now things get more complicated since I found love once again. I still haven't acted upon it though, and I'm now between a rock and a hard place. It says I might be the a-hole in this story. I'm well aware of that. Bro, no. You are not, in no way, shape, or form are you an a-hole at all. But the problem is you have the wiring and the brainwashing by society and the narrative to think that you're the a-hole for, God forbid, wanting something for yourself and wanting to stand up for yourself. So you are not the a-hole. I'm not an American, nor am I a native English speaker, so my apologies for any errors in my grammar. I am 40 years old and my wife is 42. We have a handicapped son who's 18 years old and a daughter who's 14. We started a relationship when I was 19. My wife had dreams of marriage since the early days, but I did not. I wanted a nice career in my field before I would entertain the idea. Also, my number one rule before marriage was that we both had jobs. Let's remember that, guys. She also needed to work, and I was more than happy with her doing it part-time. Number two was that we would have a place of our own. Reluctantly, she got a job as a housekeeper. I kept making a name for myself and landed an even better job with good pay and benefits. Notice he said his number one priority when he was young was obviously career. purpose, making something of himself. That is masculine energy, gentlemen. And her primary goal was to start a family. Bonding, connecting, that's feminine energy. Perfect example. But what nowadays you have, particularly in Western culture, is you have the women being full of drive and ambition and trying to conquer the world, and guys focusing all on their girlfriend and having a relationship. Where do you think that idea came from? Brainwashing through movies, TV, the feminist movement, right there. At 30 years old, after an 11-year relationship, making decent money, I thought the time was right. He made her wait 11 freaking years before he was going to put a ring on her finger. At the time, we had a nice relationship going on. I bought us a house, she gave me a home. I bought us food, she gave me a meal. She gave me 2 beautiful kids, I gave her a family. She gave me her body, I gave her my soul. Smack! Now we're getting into that nice guy shit. No guy should give a woman his soul. Oh, no. So we married, with a prenup, of course. Thank the Lord. Everything sounds good so far, until it didn't anymore. Not even 1 month after our honeymoon vacation, she changed into someone else. She had quit her job while even discussing this with me. Intimacy dropped from 3 times a week to twice a month, and she let herself go. By letting herself go, I mean gaining 130 pounds over 2 years. Hope you got a new bed, because Bessie needs more room. Granted, I too became overweight, mostly because of all the takeout we had to do, since I was too tired to cook for myself after a 10-hour workday. So, here's where you went wrong. The second you found out, and by the way, talk about bait and switch, guys. The second you got home and found she quit her job, you should have instantly said, oh, no. The agreement was you're going to keep working because this is not all going to be on me. You're going to go back and get your job back, or another job, or I'm out of here. How could you say that, SSM? A good husband and father would never say that to his wife. Bullshit. Women need to know, girlfriend, fiance, wife, that if she crosses the line with you, you're out of there. Even if you take a hit, financially or anything like that, because they have to respect you. Women do not respect weakness. And when a man caves and doesn't do what he has to do and doesn't lay down the law, she loses respect for him. And then there's more bullshit. And you saw that. She quit the job, gained a lot of weight. She's no longer cooking food at home, so he's eating garbage, gaining weight himself. See what I'm talking about? Immediately, should have laid down the law. You're going to go back and get that job right now. You have a problem with it? Well, we just got married 2 weeks ago. We're getting the marriage annulled because it's not part of the program. They have to know, guys. You have to check them, lay on the law, and be willing to walk. And they must know this. And his needs aren't being met. He said here, we were hooking up 3 days a week. And bye-bye SEX. That's another thing. Okay, I can't make you have that with me, but you can't make me stay as your husband. Or you're going to lose that weight. Or I see you just put on 20 pounds in 3 months. You're going to lose that weight. Otherwise, I'm out of here. You have to do that, guys. I know I'm interrupting this story, but I cannot make this any more clear because this is what leads to his shitty marriage. You got to have balls, guys. Women, I know I said it 1,000 times. I'll say it again. They don't respect weakness. They don't respect you. They won't love you. Okay, now that we're all on the same page here. Why did she quit her part-time job, he says? Because her back hurt, she said, which made me worried. Well, maybe 130 pounds on her ass would make my back hurt too. After lots of excuses and debates, I finally got her to the hospital for scans, diagnosis, and such. They found nothing. Shocker. So I thought maybe she's depressed. Then we went to a psychiatrist. She didn't want to go anymore. Maybe something I did or said. She wouldn't say. To make matters worse, she lost state income benefits because she didn't work enough hours the last year that she worked, effectively making me the sole breadwinner and leaving me with all the bills and the mortgage. I'd like to know what country you're from. After begging her to please come to counseling or something and work things out and to get back into the workforce, my wife was adamant that she would not go to work again, and she wanted me to stay at home longer. Being barely able to make ends meet, this was not an option. Bro, you said begging. No man, I should have smacked you. No man begs. Ever. Anyone. Who's going to respect a man fucking begging? That's weakness. Women do not respect weakness, and they will do more bullshit and punish you if you act weak. And again, this is where it could have been, okay, you're not going to get a job, you're not going to lose that weight, well then I'm done. We're splitting up. Yeah, you're going to take a hit, but it's better than being trapped a prisoner. You don't negotiate with freaking terrorists. He says, so what did I do? And this has made me the a-hole in her eyes. Well, if your wife, based on her actions, sees you as an a-hole, then that's a good thing. I say if women say a guy's an asshole, they're doing something right. Maybe I am. I'm willing to accept that, but I do it again, a heartbeat. After 3 years of struggle, I took a high-risk, high-reward leap of faith and started my own nightclub. Yes, you read it right, a nightclub. That's balls. My parents had their own store with a big warehouse, which they closed a year prior after retirement. I could rent the property from them at a fair price and with their help, get a loan from the bank to make renovations and interior changes. It was something I always wanted to do, having worked in a well-known club for years during summer breaks and festivals. Everyone called me stupid, a stupid effer for trying, but I didn't care. It was a recipe for disaster, they said, but I didn't care. The more they said I was going to fail, the more determined I became. That I understand completely, bro. It was my dream, my vision. I went all in and had to quit my other job. It became a huge, and I wrote huge in giant letters, huge success. I mean, patrons coming from neighboring countries kind of success. Then I paid my mortgage and my loan in 2 years kind of success. The in your face kind of success. Bro, I am so proud of you. That takes balls. See, gentlemen? And notice how he said that everybody was saying how stupid it was and insulting him and all that. And that was the fuel to drive him to make it work. Good for you. And by the way, I want to mention this, guys. For you guys trying to make something of yourselves in this world, especially you entrepreneurs that want to start a business or have a great idea, right here, you're going to get resistance from so-called friends, family, and all that. And it's one thing for them to have constructive criticism to help you. It's another to say, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. It'll never work, to insult you. A real friend, someone that cares, will help you find a way for your dreams to come true, to make something a success. They may not always agree with your plan or way you want to do things, but they'll offer suggestions. So you don't want to be around people that are like what he described there. You want them out of your life because they'll do everything they can to bring you down, because often you having success will make them realize they haven't done shit with their lives, and it makes them feel like crap, so it's easier to shit on you. I've had that throughout my whole goddamn life. You think those people are in my life anymore? Oh, hell no. And you think let's just say I laugh, what's the saying? I laugh my way on the way to the bank every freaking month. Thinking of those mother effers, because I do quite well. So good for you, man, and all you aspiring entrepreneurs or guys that want to change your lives, whatever that may be, there's going to be naysayers. Fuck them. Use their negativity to fuel you, and just think of how you can stick it to them with your success. Okay. Had to say it. Of course, great success comes with great costs and sacrifices. I was almost never home, working 90 hours a week, which she hated. That's what it takes. I work a hell of a lot of hours, gentlemen, but you know what? I love what I do. My kids were craving attention. My wife was present, but only that. And when I got home, I was tired. God only knows what she said to my kids in my absence, but I know it was nothing good. Yeah, well, okay, you weren't around all the time, but you know what? She was enjoying the lifestyle you were providing. I even caught my mom once yelling at my daughter because the daughter said I was a lazy bum that was never home, leaving my mom to do all the work. Guess where she heard that? You're working 90 hours a week. You took a massive risk starting that club, turned into a massive success, and you're a lazy bum. Is this from job of the wife of yours telling her this? Job of the wife who doesn't cook, doesn't clean, doesn't do this, doesn't do that, and you're the lazy bum? Okay. I think your daughter needs some serious being put in her place. And did you do that? I did not let my success get to my head, however, and start saving for the future and for retirement. Good for you. Thank God I did that because COVID came. Even though I had no income for almost 2 years, I was able to afford a normal lifestyle for me and my family during that time with all my savings. During the time of the lockdown, she didn't lift a finger in the house. Well, I'm sure she lifted a finger to eat her Kentucky Fried Chicken. I cooked, cleaned, tutored my daughter, and looked after the needs of my special needs son. I hope that those 2 years of family time could fix whatever bond was broken between us, but alas, it did not. Because she was done. And remember, this is the girl, remember guys in the beginning, who I bought a house, she made a home, I cooked, she fed me, they were hooking up. Like that had changed. So when I tell you guys, yes, you should wait years to get to know someone, but still, they can pull a bait and switch. But a man has to be strong and lay down the law and check her and let her know under no uncertain terms that if she crosses the line or doesn't live up to her part of the bargain, you're out of there. And by the way, I think she wasn't cooking on purpose, so he would gain a bunch of weight, which he did, so it would make him feel unattractive and lower his self-esteem, and no other woman would want him. That's what I think. With the little free time I had during the lockdown, I took some online classes to better myself, and I even started working out again, getting myself almost back in shape. I still must lose about 30 pounds, but already lost around 130 pounds. I feel like I'm a new man again, and guess who didn't? Bro, 130 pounds in 2 years. You're a badass. Taking online courses, losing that weight. You're a purpose-driven guy. Success, success, success. Always doing something to better yourself. That's awesome. Yeah, you fucked up marrying her, and you fucked up by not checking her and laying down the law and all that, and you fucked up by gaining a lot of weight, but you've done a lot of great things as well. So good for you. Guys out there that want to lose weight, you can do it. Right here. And he's older. He's at this point, it was probably his late 30s. The older you get, the harder it is to lose the weight, guys. It says here, as the funds were starting to dry up, COVID restrictions ended last year, and I went right back to work at the club. Although still a highly successful business, it isn't as profitable as it was before COVID. It'll get there, bro. And here my heartbreaking problems begins. I met someone in the club last year, a coworker, 5 years younger than me, but looks only 28-ish. A hardworking woman, clear goals, no kids, sexy, and single. She confided in me that she had trouble finding love after hitting the wall. She had put her job and career before starting a family. Being as independent as she could, she scared away many good men when she was younger. Define independent. Was she strong and independent? Or was she just trying to make something of herself and all that? I want to make sure she's not one of these hardcore FNS types deep down inside her being good looking and all these things. But regardless, she's certainly the opposite of your wife. Basically, she does not need a man, but wants one. Okay. The exact opposite of my wife. We have a bit of chemistry going on, but although I fell in love with this woman, I still haven't acted upon it. She knows how I feel, and I know how she feels too. But I'm scared. She met my kids a few times, and she adores them both. See the problem? I see lots of problems, but I also see lots of solutions, which I'll get to later on. My heart says go for it. Leave the wife. You deserve love and happiness too. Well, I agree. Leave the wife, and you deserve happiness too, but don't do it because of some chick. Do it for you. But I'll come back to that. My mind says, what about the wife and kids? My wife and son will never be independent. My daughter will hate me. If I stay in my marriage, my kids will be happy. My wife will be something. I don't know, fat and miserable. I don't know. On the other hand, I will wither away, working my ass off 90 hours a week into an early grave. If I leave my wife, I might find happiness. I'm glad you said might, because there's no guarantee. You have to find happiness within yourself, not find it from some other person. I would have a strong woman behind me, working together for a future and a legacy to be proud of. But my wife will end up with nothing since she did nothing. No house, not even housing benefits, no state income. I would have to pay alimony, of course, but that would just be money. Something she has no idea how to handle since she hasn't paid a bill in 10 years. My kids are far important. Will the court even assign them to me? Knowing my gender, my work schedule, and the hours I have to put in, what if my wife gets the kids? Could she take care of them herself, let alone my special needs son? Wouldn't my daughter be the greatest victim of an old fool's lovesick heart? I have a strong sense of business opportunity, but when it comes to matters of the heart, I am as sharp as a marble. I really need some outside perspective on this. I don't know what to do going forward. I can't remember where I heard this, but it stuck with me. I thought that being alone was the worst thing, but it's not. It's being together with someone that makes you feel alone. That's a very good point. I haven't told any friends or relatives about my predicament out of fear it would break my family apart. If you made it this far, thank you for reading this. Even if I couldn't get any good advice from this, just being able to tell this and be listened to helps me a lot. Best regards, Kay. Wow. You are in a predicament, sir. So, here are all the things you did right, and I'm going to say the things you did wrong, and here's what I think going forward. You did a great job with early on. Notice how he wouldn't marry her. She wanted to get married early on. He was like, no. Focus on the career. And he waited till he was 30 years old, establishing himself. That's great. He took his time to be with her. That was great. The problem is that she pulled the ultimate bait and switch on him. He also started his nightclub, which takes unbelievable balls to start any business, let alone something like that, which I'm sure the odds are high, just like restaurants that are going to fail the first year or after a few years. He was smart enough to save. He had money set aside that it didn't go out of business during COVID, and he could take care of his family. And he lost all that weight. That is awesome. And he's persevering and making something himself. These are things he's doing right. Where he went wrong is that when he married her, when she started pulling her bullshit like quitting her job, no more SEX, or next to no SEX, gaining a bunch of weight, a ton of weight, like another fucking person strapped to her ass, that he wouldn't want to sleep with her, he should have been laying on the law and checking her right away. Oh, no, you're going back to your job. You don't have to do that job, but you're going to do a part-time job, something to help with the family. You should have done that immediately. If she doesn't want to do that, okay. We were only been married a month, we're getting an annulment. Or I'm going to divorce your ass. Men have to check their women. Okay? It's just like with kids. For you parents out there with little kids, what happens if your kid's acting like a little a-hole, and they all can be little a-holes, and there aren't consequences? They're going to keep acting like little a-holes. They need to know there's consequences. It's the same thing. It's human behavior. Same thing with women. And yes, I'm comparing women to children because many are. If they don't know there's consequences to their actions, there's going to be more bullshit, just like with the little kids. Therefore, you check them on it. Doesn't mean that you're nasty and throwing insults their way and being abusive. You're just defending yourself, standing up for yourself. Women do not respect weakness. And when you act like a bitch, they're going to treat you like a bitch by being a bitch. So therefore, you got to stand up for yourself. And if you cross me, I'm out of there. Women will never truly respect you unless they know, without a shadow of a doubt, no matter what the situation is, you're leaving their ass if they push you too far. This is something I say all the time, but I'm going to fucking keep saying until I drop dead or YouTube kicks me off. You went wrong there, and I know you probably do it because, she was your wife, you want to be the loyal, supportive, loving husband, all that, and where did that get you? Now, I'm not trying to be a jerk about this. I'm saying this so you can understand what went wrong. She's still a disgusting fucking lazy slob, but I have to point out where you went wrong. That way you know where you went wrong. You won't make the mistake in the future if you're with another chick, whoever that may be. And other guys listening to this story won't do the same thing to them. Okay? You made those mistakes. Now, here's the deal. You need to get the hell out of this marriage. But the problem is mainly the kids. You have a handicapped son who's 18. I don't know if he's physically handicapped or if he's mental, I didn't specifically say. You got a 14-year-old daughter as a teenager, and obviously mom can already manipulate her into thinking that you're a lazy bum, and that's what she said. What's the options here? Stay with the wife, who is hideous to look at, is a lazy slob, unsupportive, unloyal, makes you miserable, talks shit to the kids about you. Staying with her, just being more miserable, that's out of the question. You've suffered long enough, okay? There are guys in prison that would have a better time than what you've been dealing with, okay? Yes, it's going to be an issue with the kids. In my opinion, I'd go talk to a lawyer. I don't know what country you're in. I don't know the laws of your country, but I would talk to an attorney that specializes obviously in divorce, family law, and find out all your options, good, bad, or ugly. I do not see how at all, given the work schedule you have, that you're going to get the full custody of the kids. I just don't see that happening. Partial. I also don't see how you'd get the house and she wouldn't. Again, I'm thinking from the basis of here in the U.S. of A. So the odds are she probably will get the house, at least get partial custody of the kids, and will be paying alimony, and I don't know how I'm sure child support since your daughter's 14. Now, you're mentioning state benefits and all that, but you didn't work. I don't know how that works in your country, but the point is, you're going to be paying something. And I don't say you would not at all. And be prepared for that. And your lawyer will tell you that. And it's worth it. So you have to keep dealing with this bullshit. And you say that I don't know how she's going to be able to take care of things like pay bills and all that. Well, you know what? She'll learn real quick, because if she can't take care of at least your kids or the younger one, real quick, you got a case that she can't take care of them. Therefore, you should get them. I would hope that would happen. Now, that's going to be very difficult given the hours you work, and also how things go with your handicapped son. Again, I don't know what his issues are, but perhaps this would be the time where you could have family. You said your parents retired. Certainly they could help out with some areas there. I'm sure something can be done, because you cannot stay in this miserable marriage. Life is short, okay? You are 40, because I know you had the kids before you actually got married. I'm doing the math here, because kids 18, 14, you've been married for 11 years. You obviously had them before you got married. I'm shocked that she actually went along with that, but you obviously laid down the law then. As for this new chick, in no way, shape, or form should you rush into anything with her. You mentioned she's a coworker, which I'm a little confused about, because you said you own the club. Is she a manager? Like, she works under you as a manager? Is she a partner? Or I don't know how that works, because it said that she's successful and independent and all that. Maybe because English is not your first language, you didn't write it out as you should. But if she's in any way, shape, or form an employee of yours, or works along with you, bad idea, because business needs to come first. If meeting her and falling for her helps you to see the shit that your life has been and wanting to change, it's worth it. But I strongly caution you to get involved with a coworker or another business partner, or worse yet, an employee. If she's an employee, perhaps meant she no longer works for you. Maybe you hire her as an independent contractor, so she's not your employee, but somebody that you do business with. Something like that in terms to protect yourself. I think a lot of you guys know what I'm getting at here. And let's just say you talk to the lawyer, find all your options, you divorce your wife, you take the hit, good, bad, or ugly, and you move on. It's going to take time. Will your teenage 14-year-old daughter probably hate you? Well, that's a possibility. I guess you do the best you can with her, and not let your job of the wife poison her mind against you. But at the end of the day, you should not be miserable. You're 40. Therefore, you're young, because I'm 45, and I think I'm young, so you're definitely young. You got a whole lot of living to go. But talk to your lawyer, find out the options, then start talking to your family once it's going to be done, making them clearly know how miserable you are, but I'm sure they know anyway, and figure out a plan they can all work together, because you cannot continue on like this. And no guy listening to this story that's in a miserable situation continue on with this. And if you move on and you start seeing this woman, do not rush into anything, because you listed all these great qualities she has. Well, you thought your soon-to-be fat-ass ex-wife had all these great qualities too, and look what happened. So you take your time, years, and I know you took years with your soon-to-be ex-wife. Well, and in my opinion, you shouldn't get married again. Not after what you've been through. You don't need the bullshit. Take it one day at a time. Focus on your grind. Focus on your business. Make this club the best club it can be. And maybe one day it gets back on its pre-COVID business levels. Maybe you open a second club, another business, right? And you hire somebody to run the club you have, and you're opening another club. And let's just say this woman you're falling for, and who seems like a female version of you, works out. Doesn't mean you got to marry her, but you guys could work together, and she could be a great asset. Because a guy needs to have a woman that has his back. Can you imagine if your wife was true, like this girl you met, loyal, supportive, driven, ambitious? Fuck, you could own 5 clubs by now, right? She'd be taking care of the kids, because your wife at home with no job and nothing, she should have been cooking and cleaning and doing the grocery shopping and taking care of the kids to appointments and school and homework and all that. You can help out when you can, but she's doing the majority of that. She should have kept herself thin, looking sexy, and fucking you a few times a week like she was before. Instead, you got this. No guy should deal with that. No guy should stick around for that bullshit. Life is too short. And if the situation was reversed, and the woman was writing this story, I'd say the same freaking thing. So, bro, think things over. Don't do anything 5 minutes after you get done listening to this video. Think things over. Go for a walk. Go out in nature. Process. And then do what you got to do. But staying in this is not an option. Things will work out, but you got to take action. You are a guy that is big on taking action. Now you got to take this for you in your life. You've been doing all this stuff throughout your life for your family and you, let's be honest, in terms of the business. Now you got to do this for you. And I think in 5 years, you'll be so happy looking back. Even though you'll go through a lot of bullshit and the divorce and uncertainty. Uncertainty is just the worst part of the whole thing. You'll get through it because people have gone through far worse and survived and lived to tell the tale. So I wish you luck. So best of luck, bro. Write into me down the road. Let me know how you're doing. Let the guys know. And I certainly hope it's going to be going well. But you'll be okay. So guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think. Please take 30 seconds, a minute to give this guy some encouragement on what to do. Any guys who been through the divorce process who thought that it would never work out, but lived to tell the tale, let him know it will work out. All that. He needs this. And I guarantee you, he'll read every freaking comment. Guaranteed. There can be 1,000 comments because these guys, they're looking for help and they will read every comment. Comment away. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.